Welcome into another episode of Mood Swings with Liv Moods. I am Liv Moods, and as always, this is presented by Landmark Lincoln. Shout out to our friends over at Landmark Lincoln. Make sure you head to their location off of Bellevue and Broadway to figure out why they have been the #1 Lincoln dealer in Colorado for as long as they have. I say it every show, I'm going to say it again. I am the proud new owner of a 2025 Lincoln Nautilus and could not love my car more. So head to their location, check them out, see if there's a vehicle waiting for you, and potentially join the Landmark Lincoln family. Enough about vehicles. Let's get into the show. Welcome into another episode of Mood Swings with Liv Moods, joined by a special guest. I actually don't know if I've ever had a special guest on this show, but today I am joined by Alex Welsh. When I first met you, it was just Welsh. I actually don't think I knew what your first name was until I started doing research because I want to chat with you a little bit about your background in basketball and all the things. But we are going to chat today because, well, for a few reasons. One, we're in the thick of the basketball season. Following the All-Star break, you've got a lot of knowledge in basketball, and you've also got a friend that's going to be coming to town not too long from now to take on my Denver Nuggets. And you guys know how much I love my Denver Nuggets. So first, Alex, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah,
it is strange you calling me Alex.
I know. I'm sorry, but that's
okay.
it's like the formal reporter in me. I have to call you by your first name.
I love it. Well, I appreciate you having me. I'm honored.
Absolutely.
Big fan of your show. Big fan of you. So yeah, we've got a lot to talk about.
We do.
My Boston Celtics are coming to town.
They are.
And this is a good matchup. I think there's a lot of layers to it, but I think there's some things we can get into. It's going to be a good one.
I agree.
And yeah, the basketball space is
Who's it going to be good for, though, is the question.
Us.
And that is what we'll get into in just a bit because, you know, I think there could be a really happy one of us and there's going to be a really maybe not so happy one of us. And we'll figure out what that looks like. But I want to talk about you a little bit. Mm-hmm. I know you don't spend a lot of time talking about yourself on your podcast and all the things. I want to start first with your college career in basketball. It's probably been a while since you've thought about that era of your life, but you played at UCCS. I don't know if you even knew this. Number 17 in D2 scoring average. Did you know that about yourself?
I actually did not know that stat.
That's pretty cool. I mean, come on.
Yeah. It was a great 4 years. I'm a Colorado kid. Ended up going to UCCS. Mm-hmm. That's where Derrick White and I were teammates, and that's where our kind of friendship blossomed. We did a lot. We set some records. We won a championship, a conference tournament championship. We had some fun years. We had some rough years. We learned a lot. We grew a lot. But the game of basketball was very, very good to me.
Yeah, I mean, so number 17, he doesn't want to talk about this, but I'm going to. Number 17 in D2 scoring average, number 23 in rebounding average, and number 22 with 13 double-doubles. Mm-hmm. That's, I mean, guys, he knows a thing or two, okay? For the people out there that always say, what does she know about basketball? She's never played it. Well, now I have a professional sitting right here who can talk about it with me, and we're just going to get into all of it. So what was your experience after collegiate basketball?
Yes, incredible.
Okay, explain.
So in college, I had the privilege of playing alongside Derrick before he transferred at the end of our junior year.
Yes.
We were nationally ranked. Derrick had set some records, which I then went on to beat. But
that's right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Exactly.
Brag
about yourself. That's what this is for.
There's a little asterisk. So yeah. I'm humble. He set the all-time scoring record in 3 years at UCCS.
Okay.
So that explains why he plays for the Boston Celtics, is an NBA champion, is an Olympic gold medalist, and I am not. So he did it in 3 years.
Though? Still.
And I had that fourth year. I hold a couple records. I hold the all-time leading scorer and the all-time leading rebounder. And Derrick and I's jerseys are the only two men's jerseys retired at UCCS.
That's amazing.
So, okay, that sets the stage.
There we go, guys. See, I made him uncomfortable, but he had to brag about himself. That's what this show is all about.
Yes.
So, love that.
So, I was fortunate. The game then took me kind of all over the world.
Yeah.
I went and played in Brazil for like this Division II USA team.
Cool.
Right before 2016 Olympics. Spent some time in Sao Paulo, spent some time in Rio. I actually, in the theme of name dropping, Max Strus was on that team. Because at the time, Max was a junior at a Division II in the Midwest. He had then went on to transfer to DePaul, and obviously now he's Cavs, glue guy for them. He's had a great NBA career. But did that, and then I played my official rookie year in Poland.
Whoa.
Yeah,
How was that?
very interesting.
Okay.
Amazing basketball. Lots of ex-NBA guys.
Yeah.
Huge basketball culture in Poland, surprisingly enough. Tough living.
For sure.
Yeah, I lived in like rural southern Poland, very dark, very gloomy. I come from Colorado, 300 days of sunshine a year.
I was going to say, yeah, that my depression would sink in.
Yeah, it made me really realize how much I love the sun. But it was an amazing experience. I played some
Love
good
that.
basketball, and then my next year and my final year, I only played a couple years, was in Switzerland. So I lived right outside of
Love that.
Zurich. So I go from rural Poland to
Right.
basically Zurich, Switzerland.
And did you prefer one or the other?
I preferred the basketball in Poland, and I preferred the living in Switzerland.
Fair.
So,
Okay.
But yeah, the game was great to me. I had a successful career as one of those situations where I walked away from it
Yeah.
on kind of my own terms, which I
And
was
why
young.
did you do that?
I made some emotional decisions. The business side beat me up a little bit. I had to sue my team in Poland through the FIBA courts. They still owe me lots of money. I'll never get it. But that beat me up. I was young. I was 20, 23, 24.
Do you regret walking away from basketball?
Maybe a little early.
Okay.
But hindsight's always 20/20.
So it feels like you have unfinished business.
There were a couple times, like my mid to late 20s. I'm 31 now. Oof.
Woo! He is old, guys. Whoa. You know what's so funny? I actually love doing that because my fiance, who will soon be my husband, just turned 31 as well. And I act like he's like a million years older than me because I'm still in my 20s.
Yeah.
So as far as I'm concerned, I'm like young, I'm chill. I can still like fight a hangover. He, though, no. Grandpa. Total grandpa.
Yeah, look at you
so I
now.
had to do the woof thing. He's not really old, guys, but got to give him a little help.
It's
so,
like that trend that they're doing now on like the admins for NBA teams will be like, what year were you born? And if it starts with 19.
If it's from 19, anything with a 19 at the start, you're geriatric pretty much. So you do have maybe some regrets just because it feels like unfinished business.
Yeah, there was. I think in like my mid to late 20s, after being away from the game a couple years, I was like, I'd go work out with Derrick when he's home for the summer, and I'd be like, should I go back? Should I call my agent?
stings.
Should I call my agent? But I try not to have any regrets. But hindsight's 20/20. Maybe I
course.
could have been a little more wise before
Totally.
making my emotional decisions. But the game was great. I do feel like I have a stamp credentially from a basketball perspective.
Yeah.
I was a basketball player for 20 years, nearly 20 years of my life.
Yeah,
So I love the game. I'm a part of it in a very interesting way now, having
for sure.
our podcast and being so close with the Celtics and getting to watch premiere the best basketball in the world every
sure.
night,
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Yeah, it's basketball is great to me. I'll always love it, and I pray that I'll be a part of it in one way or another the rest of my life.
I love that. Well, I want to ask you because obviously you know who Nikola Jokić is. Everybody does at this point. He makes it very clear that this international basketball, like in Serbia, when he plays, the fandom and the basketball is just different. You have played overseas. So do you agree with that statement? I mean, he almost talks about it like, maybe not that he's embarrassed of NBA fans, but we're just like so much more, like we're less crazy is what it sounds like. It sounds like overseas, the fandom for basketball and the actual game of basketball is just very, very different.
It's very different in the sense. I think the best way to break it down is most places here in the NBA kind of going to the game is more about you as a fan. Like you're there to rock your fit. And obviously I was just at crypto for the Lakers game, and that's very different, right? Like that's LA. But when you think about New York, when you think about LA, sure, there are great fans, but there's also a scene that you're a part of. You want to get your fit off, you want to get down by the court, you're on the court, there's celebrities there, things of that nature.
Fur jackets and thigh-high boots.
Come on,
We've
yeah.
seen it. Yep.
Come on, and I love that.
Absolutely.
I love that, but it definitely almost feels like when you compare the two, the NBA fans are almost, with the exception of the Boston Celtic fans, they're almost too cool to cheer a lot of the times, right? Europe, they are there for the game. They are there because they are diehards. They look forward to it all week. It's a different cadence. So they're not playing every other night. It's one game a week, 2 games a week, depending on the league. And these people, their parents grew up as fans of this team. They're fans of this team. They have their kids with them. And they don't care about anything in that time besides that game. So I think that's the biggest difference. And yes, there's drums, there's fire, there's all sorts of crazy things that you probably couldn't get away with at a ball arena,
Of course not.
But it's very different in the sense of why people are there if you're generally speaking.
Totally. It sounds like, guys, I think we need to do better. It sounds like we need to turn up the bat shit a little.
Yeah, for sure.
Which, by the way, I don't have a damn problem with at all. I can turn up bat shit like this on a dime. So maybe we need to do that. Turn up the bat shit a little bit more, guys, okay? In the NBA fandom. Unless you're the Celtics fans, then maybe turn down the bat shit, and then everybody else will turn up the bat shit. Then we'll be on an even playing field, because Celtics fans are crazy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But I respect them for that.
One of a kind.
Yes, they're one of a kind. They
Boston
know
sports fans.
Yes, Boston in general. Okay. Boston in general. And so Derrick White, obviously great friend of yours for a very, very long time. I actually had the privilege to meet him just last week. Yeah. Super sweet guy, you know, just seems like he's just got his life together and is just humble. And
let me ask you this.
Yes.
If you weren't a sports fan and you didn't recognize him from TV, you'd probably never know he was one of the top names in the NBA, huh?
No.
If you just were at a restaurant next to him, you would never know, huh?
No, you wouldn't. And you know what? But I think those are my favorite kind of athletes.
For sure. Me too.
I really love the quiet killers.
Yeah.
The ones that are just walking down the street in a t-shirt and jeans and just don't really care what you think about them. And then a guy like Derrick White gets a ball in his hands and it is terrifying. I actually am very good friends with some of the Broncos players that are very much that way. They're not flashy. They don't even really want people to know what they do. They lie when we're out in public with them. When they get asked what they do, they just don't want to say it. And then you see them on a Sunday and you're like, who the hell is that?
It's a different person.
And I love that. I love the athletes that are, you know, just very humble and you wouldn't know them one way or the other. You would not know what they do. And then they get on the court. Derrick White gets in a uniform and he just completely tears it up. He absolutely tears it up. Yeah. I want to know, though, from you, the version that we know as NBA fans of Derrick White, how is the version you know different from what we know?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's so interesting to me because I've known him. He's been my best friend for almost 15 years now. So I was with him when he was a red shirt. They pulled his red shirt our freshman year. You know, quiet guy would be walking around campus and someone would come up and tell him how great of a game he had, and it would like strike him with panic. He'd be like, thanks, and like walk away, you know? So I still see him, like I don't see him. It's hilarious to me when we're out and people are like freaking out and running around trying to get to him and get a photo. It's so funny to me because they only know that version of him on the court. And like I only know, the majority of what I know is him off of the court. So to the point we made, he is one of those guys that he has lined his pockets from being very, very good at what he does and playing at the highest of levels in the NBA finals, the conference finals, year after year after year, going and winning an Olympic gold. But he's the same dude. He just has a little bit more money. His house is a little bit bigger and nicer.
And it hasn't changed him at all? You would say he's the same person that you've been friends with for 15 years. Money didn't change him one bit.
I don't think so. I think it's changed the experiences and things we've been able to share with our
Which, by the way, you should
yeah.
share those experiences,
sure.
right? Like that's what the money that these athletes make, that's what you should spend it on, is the experiences with your people.
But from a per guy. And I think that's part of why he's so good. Because he's not caught up in all the other stuff.
Of course.
You know? So
of course.
Yeah, it is. It's a very interesting take, and it never gets old to me when people are like running up and freaking out and trying to get these photos. I'm like, why? It's just Derrick.
And you also know he's terrified in those moments. You're like, he hates this.
Yeah.
So I really want to ask, and this is like, feel free to be honest here, because I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter what you thought at that moment, because we're here in the now. But did you really ever think, was there ever a moment knowing Derrick back at UCCS where you're like, did you think he was going to be what he is right now?
Never at UCCS. I knew there was way more there.
Okay.
Our junior year, I told this story once or twice. Our junior year, we did Midnight Madness to kick it off. And we were known, our entire collegiate career, we were practicing at 5 a.m. for a multitude of different reasons. Our head coach had young kids. Like, it was just a discipline thing. We were always up early. So we do Midnight Madness, we do the dunk contest, we do the 3-point, they kick the fans out. NCAA rules, we're technically allowed to practice on that day. So our coach goes, let's just practice after Midnight Madness. It's like 1:30 in the morning. Let's go an hour. We'll go hard for an hour. You guys got the rest of the day off. We'll kick off the season the right way. You guys don't have to come back, blah, blah, blah. Cool. We get into it. It's weird. It's 1:30 in the morning. We just had the gym packed, having fun, and now we're like supposed to practice and kick the season off. It's probably like 45 minutes in. We're doing some live action, and we had a transfer, Colorado guy, Jake Campbell. He was like in his 5th year. He was coming back from an ACL injury. Division II, so he's maybe 5'11", 6 foot on a good day.
Okay.
Derrick was moving different at this point. Faster, everything looked like it was slow motion for him. He could go by, get to anywhere he wanted. Mixes somebody up at the top of the key, goes to the cup. Jake Campbell steps over. Derrick takes off with 1 foot. Knees him like somewhere in this vicinity, bottom of the chin, throat, collarbones. I don't know where the knee hit.
Somewhere.
And just punches it, hanging on the rim one-handed. One of our assistant coaches, shout out Alex Snyder, running around the court, blowing his whistle. We end practice right there. That was day one of our junior year.
Derrick White shut down practice.
Yeah, our very first practice of the
Wow.
year. And then it was just a theme. Everything seemed so slow motion for him. The games, he's running between passing lanes like 5 times a game, getting a steal, going and slamming it, looking into the rim, scoring at will, had a 50-point game, was averaging like 28 with ease. And I'm like, okay, he's outgrown this, but I didn't
Right.
expect the league. I think when I first was like, the league is next for him, was I believe it was a preseason game at Colorado. He had to sit a year. He redshirted. So that was my senior year at UCCS. So my rookie year, I'm in Poland waking up at whatever time of night it is to watch this game.
Right.
It's against Xavier. He kind of showed a glimmer of what he did at the Division II level. He took the game over in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Bucket, 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 stop, steal, block, whatever it is. And he finished with like 18. They won the game, huge game. And I was like,
That's when it clicked.
league.
That's when it clicked.
League, it's real. Yeah. So,
Wow. And like, what do you think made him? Because it sounds like there was just a moment where it just like, it's almost like he finished basketball puberty. Like he just like
For sure.
locked in and just, what do you think made that difference for Derrick White? Like what elevated Derrick to that next level that made him league ready?
I think his, and he's well known for it today, his IQ. He's a high IQ guy. And like the reason his NBA career has got him into the Spurs organization and the Boston organization is likely because of that IQ. He's a very, very high IQ player. And basketball puberty is a great example because I think also like real puberty had to do with it.
Of
We
course.
showed up on a college campus our freshman year. We had both just turned 18, July birthdays.
Okay.
We reported at the end of July, freshly 18 as college freshmen. We're children.
Yeah.
And
For
I
sure.
think his game, his skill set was developing rapidly, but his body wasn't. He was very thin. And then like freshman to sophomore year, big jump in body type, all of that. And then the game, the work around that never stopped.
For
like
sure.
you got to give credit where it's due. He spends so much time in the
Of
gym.
course.
Works on his game. He takes full advantage of the off season. But like basketball puberty combined with real puberty was a real thing for him.
For sure.
A very real thing for him.
That's amazing. I mean, he's obviously incredible, and I think I'm like such a fan of Derrick, but I'm also like, I want him here so
He's
bad.
tainted because he has the Boston
You
uniform
know,
on, right?
it's just like, dang it. You know, like he's a Colorado guy, so naturally I root for him. But there's also the piece of me that's like, yeah, but why aren't you like still a Colorado guy?
For
Like,
sure.
get over here right now. We could use you. I would love it. I would love nothing more. I want to talk through some hot takes, and I actually want to start with this one because of what we've been talking about here. So one of the things that I was going to ask you, and I actually believe this to be true. I'm going to say true or false to you, but this is true for me. So this is kind of my statement. We just talked a little bit about the fact that he's not super flashy. He's very humble. There's a certain aura that I think a lot of players have that make them marketable and make them popular, if you will. Do you think that if Derrick White had a flashier or bigger personality, that he would have more Defensive Player of the Year campaign buzz?
True.
I think so,
I agree.
right?
I think it's part of it. And it's really interesting you bring this up because we just recorded an episode of our podcast
Yeah.
on Saturday with a guest I cannot release the name of yet, but someone very flashy, showboaty, built his NBA career off of being that way.
Yep.
And this discussion was like, when you have those moments, those specifically for Derrick, those game-winning blocks or whatever, he's like, let's go next play. He's not flexing. He's not ripping his jersey.
Right.
He's not staring anybody down, getting a technical foul. I think that is part of it.
Of course,
Yeah.
because here's the deal. It's the sad reality, and I hate it, but these season awards it's a popularity contest. And when you have a player that, I'm just going to give you an example with Nikola Jokić, right? He had to be such a unicorn in his game because he doesn't check the boxes of anything else. He's not on social media. He's not flashy. He's not loud. He's just very like kind of regular dude. If you saw Jokic in like basketball shorts, not now, but back then, if you would have seen him in basketball shorts, you'd have been like, who is this guy just walking down the street? Like, he doesn't have that. I don't want to say that aura is mandatory for awards, but I do feel like it plays a role in the campaign buzz around who should win it and who should be in contention and who's in conversation, because let's call it what it is. I mean, Derrick White as a defensive player is criminally underrated and not spoken about nearly enough.
Absolutely. And to your point, it's that entertainment side of it.
Of course.
It's that entertainment. How much can we pump that block that you had because you did XYZ after, or that steal or whatever it may be defensively, right? Mm-hmm. And also to your point, him and Joker are never going to be those guys.
No, and they
but
shouldn't
what
have
does
to
it cost them? They shouldn't have to be. But what has it cost both of them?
Yeah.
Both of them. I mean,
that's the question.
I mean, Jokic had today's Monday. Last night he had 35, 15, 12, 4, and 3.
Something sickening.
And it's like that happens all the time. But he's not out there saying crazy things in the media. He doesn't have that necessarily in the entertainment side, and neither does Derrick. And they never will.
They never will. They never will.
Sad.
And they shouldn't have to, because it's so irrelevant. And I have this conversation with people all the time. It's so funny when the Nuggets were in the finals versus Miami, and everyone just kept saying, like, this is the most boring, this is the most boring finals we've ever seen. It's like, what part is boring though? Because it's good basketball. I mean, you're watching a triple-double from Nikola Jokic every single night. I think he was hovering around a true shooting percentage of 60 to 70% as a big. Like, what about that is boring? But he wasn't screaming into the camera. He wasn't dunking. He has opportunities to dunk probably every game. Rarely does he take them.
For sure.
Rarely does he take them. He just doesn't. He's just not into that flashy style of ball. And I think Derrick is very similar. And to your point, they never will be that way.
They never will be. They'll never be Anthony Edwards.
They don't
have it in them.
It's so true. But you know what? I also have a special place in my heart for a guy like Anthony Edwards.
Me too. I love him.
I mean, he lights me up. Like, there is something about his game that I'm just like, it's kind of like, it's addicting. You watch him and you're just like, I want to be a fan of his because he's got that. It's an aura. It's
twofold. What is he about to do with the ball in his hands? And then when he does it, what is he going to do?
What is he doing next?
And what is he going to say?
But you know what? There's also the fine line of that, because I felt like I think about Ja Morant, where I think that almost hurt him sometimes.
For sure.
The flashiness, the aura, there's such a fine line between the professionalism and this is your job, and the entertainment and the aura aspect of it. And it's so, I think you've got guys like Derrick and Jokic that some would say play it safe, but they also were never going to have to worry about like off-court issues with them, or you know what I mean? Like I want to say they're like rule followers. They are not a liability at all. They're safe players to like build a team around, because you're gonna always have Derrick White locked in. You're always gonna have him staying out of trouble. He's gonna take care of his body. Same goes for Jokic. I mean, Jokic in between the horse racing and the beers every once in a while, but I don't know if he's as locked in as Derrick White in the off season. It's probably very different, but they're not liabilities.
Absolutely. And that's a good thing.
Very.
That's a good thing, because they're a pro's pro, and I'm not taking away from the guys that are a little bit more out there, because they're pro. They're very professional in their own way too. And I've had this conversation with other people off camera, specifically about Anthony Edwards. It's like, wouldn't you rather have him like so big that you have to like dial him back from a marketing and face of the league perspective, versus being like, you're the guy, but we need you to do more.
Of course.
You can't get someone to do more, but you can absolutely tone it down. It's like the argument of like, would you rather be hot or cold? It's easier to warm up than cool off.
So true.
Put the blanket on where you need to,
Because when I wake up in the middle of the night because I'm overheated, I am pissed off. Like, I'm not going back to bed. I'm pissed.
What do I got to do? I got to go outside to cool
raging.
off?
Yeah, it's a very uncomfortable situation to be in. Okay, so then that kind of leads me to another conversation of, do you have to have that borderline obnoxious aura in order to be the face of the league? Could you have a Jokic or a Derrick White as the face of the NBA?
No, because Jokic would already be the face of the league.
Right.
And this goes back to what
him.
Did it cost him?
I know.
And like the tough part too, when you think about the face of the league, is like, do we really have a face of the league right now?
I don't think we do. And I actually think the direction that we're evolving in the world of basketball, I don't know if we'll ever have one face ever again.
Mm-hmm. From a marketing perspective, why would you just have one?
Yeah.
But
why?
But when we talk about these guys not being a liability and not having that personality when they make those big plays and do those big things in those big moments, what has it cost them? And a guy like Jokic doesn't want to be the face of the league.
No.
And that's okay too. But how many people that are NBA fans want Jokic to be the face of the league?
I mean, hell, I do.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a part of me that's like, I actually really would love for Jokic to be, when I watch the shows, what is it called, Starting Five on Netflix, where they follow the players around? There's a part of me that's like, I would love to see Jokic because I feel like there's so much we don't know about him. He has his private life that he chooses to keep very private. I want to know more about him, but he's, to your point, like there's just some guys that'll never be that way. And they shouldn't have to be.
It shouldn't have to be to get the recognition that they deserve. But as fans, we could wish. We can daydream.
Of course. I'm going to keep praying about it for sure. Okay. Another hot take.
Okay.
Who is the best player in the NBA right now as it stands?
I mean, the easy answer is Jokic.
The right answer is Jokic. Yes.
You were teeing me up. I knew the answer that you wanted.
But no, this is about this is what you think. So if you really, you know the game, and you know kind of the ins and outs of being a two-way player and all the things like what, because I'll be honest with you, Nikola Jokic would for sure be my answer, but the defensive side of Nikola Jokic kind of halts me a little. When I really think about the most well-rounded, best player in the NBA, who would you go with?
I have a few options.
Okay.
I have a list, and it'll be controversial as a Celtics fan. I got to start my list off with Jaylen Brown. We talk about two-way players. We talk about leading a team who wasn't supposed to be good from a media perspective this year to second place in the East, averaging almost 30 points a game, playing. He's guarding the best player every night. He's asking to guard the best player every night, and he's doing a good job. I was at the game in LA a month ago when they played the Clippers, and Kawhi was coming off of 54, 45, 40 something. JB scored 50 and matched up with Kawhi the entire game. And I think Kawhi finished in the low 20s. So like those are the moments. And same conversation we're just having. Was he beating on his chest and yelling in Kawhi's face? No, because that's also not the type of guy he is.
Right.
So I got to put Jaylen Brown on the top of my list alongside a Jokic. I think we have to talk about Cade Cunningham in Detroit, number one team in the East.
Very fair, because I don't think not one person outside of maybe Piston fans thought that this team was going to be capable of what they've done, and he is the leader of it.
And they're proving it night in and night out, he has been incredibly consistent. I think we got to talk about a guy I don't want to talk about as a Celtics fan, Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson's having a great year.
He's nasty with it, isn't he?
He's having a great year.
Yeah.
And I think there's one more guy that we obviously have to talk about is Shea.
I can't talk about him.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about him, but we have to talk about him.
You know what? You know what, though? Here's the deal about that, because I agree with you. Shea is one of one. And he has been for a while, actually, because I've been into all of the player props and all the things that I love to do. And he, even when OKC was quiet, he was doing this consistently. He's been this guy. Is the foul baiting nonsense affecting his legacy in this league? Because it's hard to watch for people. I know you're a basketball guy, and you can see what these players do in such a different light because you've done it. You know how hard it is, and you know all the things. But is that affecting the respect that he gets as a player? Because it's tainted my view of him a little bit, to be honest.
I think it is. I don't like it, but he's so good at it. Like thinking about how hard that is to do and consciously be playing at the NBA speed in a big game, in a big moment, and thinking about how to get a foul in this exact moment, it's very tough. I think the general, like the talk around the media and the message that the media would like to push is it is affecting his legacy.
Yeah.
But here's probably how he's thinking about it. It's working. He's playing at a very high level. They're winning. So how does he protect his legacy from there? He keeps doing what he's doing, and they try to win more championships because that'll concrete his legacy.
Let's be real. I think any players or coaches that have a hard time with the foul baiting stuff are mostly upset that it doesn't work for their players.
They don't have a guy that can do it as well.
which is fair.
And if that's your guy, it's one of those things you talk about, like,
If he's on my team, I love what he's doing.
You talk about Big Stu, you talk about
Yes.
Dylan Brooks. You hate playing him, you love him on your team.
Absolutely. That's such a good point, because that's really the reality of my, I call it beef. I think it's obviously one-sided beef. He doesn't know I exist, but it is a little beef between he and I think it really does come from the fact that he's not on my team getting to the line that much. I'm a little curious, though. I just asked about best players in the league, and you didn't make a single mention of Wemby. Why is that? Why is it that you didn't talk about Wemby? Because I would argue he is definitely up there.
I didn't talk about Wemby because I agree that he's up there.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's leading the San Antonio Spurs. What are they, second in the West?
I think they're second behind OKC, yeah.
Yeah, they're second in the West. I don't know why I didn't mention him. I thought about him. I thought about him.
How did we end up here?
He's a cheat code. I mean.
So does he annoy you? Does it annoy you how good he is? Because there was, let's not forget, everybody, there was absolutely a point in time where people had to get over the annoyance of Nikola Jokic.
For sure.
They weren't willing to give him his credit just yet because they're just like, he's a cheat code. He's a unicorn. It doesn't make sense. It's aggravating. I don't like watching it because how the hell is he doing that? There was a period where we had to get over that with Jokic. Are we in the period of having to get over that with Wemby?
Personally, I think I am. And I don't like saying it out loud, but I think it's like you're almost resistant to it. It's
sure.
like when the internet came out when we were super young and people were like, oh, I'm never going to use that. I'm never going to go on that. Now when the AI is, quote unquote, taking over and people are like, I don't use AI. I want to use my own thoughts and things of that nature. I'm like, Wemby is going to be one of the greatest basketball players of all time, but I don't want to accept it yet.
It's cooler to have pushback.
It's easier.
It's easier. It's cooler. You're just like, nah, like, let me see a little bit more. And I get it. But yeah, Wemby, I would say, is in that he's in the era that Jokic just got out of, I think, which was having to come to terms with the fact that Wemby is just different. And it's going to frustrate you. And if you're a Spurs fan, you love him. And if he's not on your team, you likely hate him because there is no answer for him.
And let's not forget, I'm a Spurs fan. Derrick started his career in San Antonio. I spent a lot of time around the organization. It's an amazing organization filled with amazing people. Some of those guys are still on that team. Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson. I still watch the Spurs when they're on. And I watch him and I'm like, how? Come on. Like it's almost something where I'm like, I should be resistant to loving it because if I just jump on board and I love it, then I'm just like everybody else. And now that I'm saying that out loud, that's so dumb. Why am I doing that?
But you're honest. I respect your honesty.
He's up there, though. He's got to be on that list. What did I name? 5 players, including Jokic? Yeah. I think that's probably my top 5 and best players in the league. And shit, we didn't even talk about Ant, but...
I was going to say Anthony Edwards is another one. But do you think, there's something in my gut, and this is just like the woman's intuition discernment situation here, okay? So take it with a grain of salt. But I don't picture him winning a championship in Minnesota because every time I think that they're going to, there's something that's just not allowing them to get there. In the same way, I think there is something that will always be in the way of Luka Doncic getting an MVP. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. Maybe you can help me do that. What is it?
I agree. I think I don't know what it is, but I'm in full agreement. And also a hot take of my own.
Oh.
Did you hear his comments that were accidentally captured at the All-Star game when he was talking to Jalen Johnson, I believe?
Who's, Luka's or Anthony Edwards?
Anthony Edwards.
Oh, God. Is it going to make me not like him?
No. But it is something that was not meant to be captured. He had his hand over his mouth, but the camera was on this side, so it got him. It was post-game, and he was talking, I can't wait to come home, man. I can't wait to come home. I got to get back home. Something along those lines. And the clip is gone pretty viral, so I'm surprised you haven't seen it. But I'm like, does him going to Atlanta, is Atlanta the organization he wins the championship in the East?
They are kind of in a little bit of a rebuild mode right now.
Is he a piece of that? Is it possible? Can they do it? I don't understand all those numbers. Those confuse me.
Of course.
But that was also caught and blasted around. So
maybe my gut is right, where there's just something about Anthony Edwards is literally made to be an NBA champion.
For sure.
If we're going to be living in a world, there's no world in which he ends his NBA career and doesn't have a championship. Like he's just built for it. But there's something that I feel like it's just not going to happen in Minnesota. And so hearing this now, maybe it's Atlanta.
Maybe it's Atlanta.
And what about Luka? Why can't Luka win a damn MVP? Because even when he's got MVP numbers all season long, it just feels like he's always being overlooked. Why is that?
I like Luka. I appreciate Luka's game. Luka can do things that no one else can, and he can do them over and over and over. And did Luka bring the D-cell step to the NBA? Maybe. Does everybody use the D-cell step now? And did it come from Luka 3 or 4 years ago? Maybe. But I also watched the Lakers Boston game, and there were 2 possessions where one, Luka thought he got fouled, and he laid on the ground, and he had his arms up like this, and we threw it ahead, and Hugo Gonzalez got a breakaway layup because Luka didn't get back. And then in the same quarter, 4 minutes later, he does the same thing. He's yelling at the ref, and we get a fast break dunk from it. So are those the little things that compound over time when it comes to MVP voting, and MVP voting in terms of winning enough games to be considered for MVP? Are those the things that are stopping him? Probably.
Dang, that's
Probably.
so true. You know what?
But I respect him. I like him. I like watching him. He's one of those guys. What is he going to do next? And he also has a little bit of that entertainment side when he does something big. What is he going to do after?
Does he need to be a little bit more vicious? Like instead of sitting there and being like, whoa, woe is me, does he need to be like does he need to get a little more like,
I think in the era of now we're rewarding two-way players, he needs to be playing defense. I think that's the gap.
Doesn't he? And doesn't my favorite Nikola Jokić, of course. I mean, it's a thing. Like you're because it's a great point. Two-way players are kind of the secret sauce on a team. The players that aren't two-way are sticking out like sore thumbs these days.
And the superstars that can't guard
Oof!
are being.
Don't remind me. Why don't you not remind me? I'm like I still struggle. I mean, it's like every time I watch this Denver Nuggets team, because we're going to get into this Celtics Nuggets matchup in just a second, it's like defense isn't optional.
Not anymore.
No, it's not.
It used to be.
Anymore these days, in the here and now, you have to play defense. Period. You cannot get away with being a one-way player and or just having a team that doesn't prioritize. I mean, the Nuggets have struggled with their defensive identity for the last few seasons, and obviously not having Aaron Gordon for a bit is affecting that, but you can't get away with being a good team, being the best team without defense. You can't.
Absolutely.
And I struggle with that. Really quick, if you had to pick your finals matchup right now.
Oh,
I know.
it's too early. Liv, don't do this to me.
Well, I'm doing it. And who would you pick? Who's coming out of the East and who's coming out of the West?
By default, I have to say Boston coming out of the East.
I don't think that's a bad answer. Even though you're a fan, I don't think that's a fandom answer. I think that's very realistic.
I think they can.
For sure.
I think they can. I think we'll get New York in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I think that when we have the opportunity to play them for 7 games, we can come out of that on top.
Okay.
The West is confusing for me.
Of course.
And I kind of have a hot take here.
I love it.
I think OKC is doing a lot of things right.
I hate it.
But listen,
I hate it, guys.
This is where the hot take comes in. I think there are some problems for OKC, and sadly, on your show, I have to say it, I don't think Denver is one of those problems. I think San Antonio is a problem for them.
Yes.
I think playoff Wemby is going to be a scary sight if he can stay healthy and remain healthy and continue to grow. I mean, he has a lot of games left to work on the small things that he's continuing to work on as a young guy. That organization knows how to be a championship run team.
For sure.
They have the people there that have been there and done that and can coach.
Yeah.
Here's my hot take, though. I think Houston is a problem.
I agree. I actually have been, whenever people ask me about the Western Conference, I have said, I don't know why more people aren't talking about Houston. And Russell Westbrook being a potential buyout candidate, get him to Houston. If you get him to Houston and he is leading that second unit, I see a world where Houston goes all the way. I really do. They scare me. I don't know why they don't scare more people.
They're terrifying. Celtics have played them twice this year. both being on the second night of a back-to-back. And it's a dogfight. They have so many guys. They're well coached. Obviously, Ime Udoka came from Boston. There's a lot there, but he's a great coach. And he knows what he's doing. He knows how to get the most out of his guys. He's got a lot of pieces. I think that team gets in a playoff environment, and they're scary. And I think it's a hard matchup for a team like OKC. I think they're really battling. I think there's an advantage if in some way or world it's San Antonio and Houston. That's limited travel time. They are going to have traveling fan bases. They match up well. I think they're a scary team. And they're kind of in this position where they're like, we don't really care that it's OKC, Denver, and San Antonio right now because we're going to be ready when the time is right, and we're working on things to be ready for a playoff run. That's kind of how I feel. They're in the shadows, like, waiting.
Okay, so I hate what you said about Denver.
So I can't say a West team.
I hate what you said about Denver. I have to address that because if Denver gets in full health, you get Aaron Gordon and you get Peyton Watson back, does your answer change?
Depends on when. Because
I agree with that.
Is it too late?
I agree with that.
Depending
100%.
on when they come. I mean, Peyton's out till mid-March, yeah?
Yeah, and with you can speak to this more than I can. I mean, I only pull a hammy when I go up the stairs too damn fast. But you've played basketball. Soft tissue injuries are hell.
The worst. I'd rather break my leg.
You know what?
Let the bone heal and I can come back. Work on the strength around it. Soft tissue issues, especially in the ankles and the knees and the hamstrings.
And this is now back-to-back seasons for Aaron Gordon specifically, where he has dealt specifically with a hamstring, and his game is explosive. He uses his hamstrings more than the average human being on planet Earth. So I get a little worried about that.
If the question, to your point, is when they're back, are they back as themselves, or are they a shell of themselves? Are they moving the way they can? Can they give you consistent minutes? That's the only thing that I have with Denver, because if they're back and they're both 100% and the rest of the team stays 100%, they're absolutely scary. But the likelihood of that, in my opinion, at this point in the end of February,
we're almost to March here.
Time is ticking.
It's a ticking time bomb. It really is. That's
and it's
so
not
true.
like the schedule is rewarding for guys that are,
And by the way, and that's a whole nother thing, the NBA schedule, there is no solid answer or solution to this problem. But like, God, between the traveling and the back-to-backs, like, I'm shocked we don't have more injuries than we do.
Shout out to the athletic training staffs in the NBA, because those guys across every organization are working 24/7 the entire NBA season because of the load that these guys carry. And then you got to put 6'10", 6'11", 7 foot. You got to stick them on an airplane and then put them on a bus and then have them go sleep in a hotel bed where their ankles are hanging off the bed. It is hard. And those guys really are like the backbone of these organizations, especially these organizations that don't deal with a lot of injuries. Some of it's luck, but it's also what are they doing every single day with that athletic training team, in my opinion.
100%. I totally agree. Okay, let's get into, this is like the way we're going to wrap up the show. We got to get into the Celtics being in Denver this week to take on the Denver Nuggets. And I want to first talk to you about, obviously Derrick is a Colorado guy. And the last time that the Celtics were here in Denver, Derrick actually did not play.
Yes.
Was that hard for him? And why did he not play?
Very hard for him, which I think is very good for us.
Oh, yeah. Now he's super jazzed up. Damn it.
He has a home here. And the way last year's road trip worked was they were here for a couple days, I believe. And his family traveled. He has 2 young sons. One of his sons was sick with like the stomach bug flu. Derrick was home spending time with his broader family. Everyone's still here in Colorado. And he got the stomach bug, and he was throwing up the entire game. Woke up the morning of the game, was like, oh no. And then spent the evening trying to drink water and hold it down at home.
And couldn't.
So that's why he didn't play. And he's had an Ironman season. He's consistently a 75-plus game per year player. So it was very hard for him because, one, he doesn't like to miss.
Especially here.
2. It's here.
That
And
sucks.
like we get every year, like this week we have 25, 30 people going to be at the game, family, friends. And those are people where he's doing the tickets directly.
Yeah.
Not to mention the probably other 100 people that are buying tickets
Of
because
course.
they're extended friends or played against him and want to be at that game. So he was extremely let down. It was really hard for him. So I know he's chomping at the bit for this
Frickin' A.
week.
So basically that's code for Derrick White's going to drop a 40 piece this week because he's got 2 games in one that he's going to be playing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking as well. Well, I am very excited for him because I know it's got to be so special to play in the state that you grew up in. And so I am very, very excited to watch him. And I want to talk a little bit with you about the game itself. I was kind of taking some notes on how I felt leading up to this matchup. Mostly nerves is what I was typing down, guys, okay? It feels like a star power versus system situation here where you've got a Jamal Murray that at any given moment could pop off, and you've got Nikola Jokić, who is arguably the best player in the world, and that always gives you an advantage. That being said, you've got a better system in Boston, and systems matter. I think, obviously, the Denver Nuggets have a broken system right now for reasons that are outside of their control, whether it be injuries, the lack of defense is a little bit more in their control, and that's something that I worry about. The ebbs and flows of 1 second they're scoring 151 points and beating by 60 something, and then the next they're, losing a lead in the fourth quarter and losing the game. So better system with Boston, in my humble opinion, better, and I don't want to say better star power, but star power that I think gives the edge to Denver in certain ways. Obviously, you've got the star power in JB and Derrick that speaks for itself. I do worry, though, as a Nuggets fan, I can be very transparent and say that I worry that the system is what's going to make the difference here for this game and for Boston. Do you disagree or agree, or how do you feel?
I don't disagree. I think there's more layers to it. Historical context from this season, where everyone's at in their schedule.
Yep.
Also, we've recently moved Peyton Pritchard back to the 6-man role. He started 42 games. We made some trades. We got rid of Anthony Simons.
Yep.
We got rid of quite a few guys. And basically what that did is we moved Peyton back to the bench, and he's averaging mid-20s off the bench. He had 30 last night against the Lakers.
Joy.
So my biggest question where I think we should kick off is matchup-wise. With AG out,
Oh, my God.
with Peyton out,
Oh, my God.
how are you guys thinking about 1, Jaylen Brown, and 2, Peyton Pritchard?
I'm not thinking about it. I'm avoiding it, actually. That's exactly what's happening. I am not thinking about it at all.
Well, you're not thinking about that. I'm thinking about Nemish Keita and Big Vooch and how we're going to try to slow Jokic down.
So here's
maybe a bigger problem.
No, 100%. And here's the deal. This is kind of my hot take for the game.
Okay.
And it kind of, I think, answers your question a little bit. I think the more Jokic scores in this game, the less likely Denver is to win, because I think Jokic needs to be doing a little bit of everything else. I think defensively, any team that's smart is going to prioritize Nikola Jokic and getting him under control. That means you need Jamal. You need Tim Hardaway to light it up from the 3-point line. You need the other guys to step up offensively, because Jokic is going to be slowed down. He is. The Celtics defense is one that worries me. So I actually believe that the more that Jokic scores, it kind of is that to me feels like one of those games, because we've seen him a lot, where Jokic is doing too much. And I don't think against a team like Boston, you can only have one guy doing too much. You need everybody, all hands on deck. You need the version of the Denver Nuggets that we saw without Nikola Jokic.
In January.
Where every person was contributing, everyone had a role, everyone knew exactly what they needed to do to win. You need that in this game. So I think if in this game, while I'm sitting there watching the Nuggets, if every bucket is coming from Jokic, I will be worried. I don't think that's enough.
I like that. I think that that's a fair take. You guys beat us in Boston in January, just a month ago. Jokic was out. Peyton Watson had 30.
He's a monster.
These are funny stats. I was looking it up. He had 30 on 15 shots. He was 6 for 7 from 3.
Jesus.
And he shot 50% from the free throw line. He shot
he's a dog.
85% from 3 and 50% from the free throw line. So I thought that was funny. Jamal Murray had 17 assists in Boston. So like to your point, we need 7. You guys need 17 assists.
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that we in there? Yeah. It's snuck in there for sure. Love that.
You guys need 17 assists.
We do.
From that. And you guys need Jamal Murray to play at the all-star level that he's been playing at. Because now how do you fill the gaps from a guy? You guys won by 4 and Peyton Watson had 30. Mm-hmm. So, like, where is it going to come from? It's going to be a completely different game. And these are the other things that I'm thinking about. You just had a tough loss last night in San Francisco.
I wouldn't even call it tough. I would call it silly.
Silly, but like...
And ridiculous.
Today, they're watching film and getting pissed off.
They better be pissed off.
And then tomorrow, they're going to watch film on Boston. And here's the other thing, is that Boston's now on a road trip. Boston's on a 9-day road trip, post-All-Star break, reported to San Francisco, then played the Lakers on Sunday. Tomorrow night, they play in Phoenix, and then it's a back-to-back situation. They go straight after the game from Phoenix to Denver and play Denver on a late tip. So that's multi-leveled there, but your team has, 2 days of rest?
Yeah, because they play, it'll be 2 days of rest.
We're on game 4 on a back-to-back on a road trip. And I think it's good for us. Because
some teams thrive in those moments.
If we win tomorrow night in Phoenix and we're 3-0, we're coming to Denver and they know they're going home, and we just lost to Denver a month ago, and this is a big game when you're talking about the standings, and we recognize the opportunity. No AG, no Peyton. Our team is going to be up. This is going to be a good game. And sure, I'd love us to win by 30 and lead the whole game. That's fine too. I'd rather see a close game.
Of course.
Go down to the wire, battle back and forth.
Fun.
Yeah. I want to see Jokic get one of those crazy triple doubles. My hot take for the game is I think we're going to have 3 guys really score the ball. I'm thinking Derrick, JB, and Peyton Pritchard over 20 points each.
Well, you know what? Listen, that wouldn't necessarily shock me because, I mean, my gosh, I think back to last season. Norman Powell looked like Michael Jordan out there playing against the Nuggets, I mean, when you let these guys get hot, it's a very scary situation. And as much as I love my Denver Nuggets, defensively, they're missing that edge. They don't have a defensive edge at all. And we just talked about the fact that defense is mandatory at this stage of the way the game has evolved. You have to play defense. So for me, I think if the Nuggets want to win, so you've got Peyton Pritchard, Jaylen Brown, Derrick White, all scoring over 20. And that's going to be, obviously, that to me is definitely looking like a win, a dub for the guys if they can do that. For me, for Denver, this is going to be, in my opinion, a game of tempo. I think Jokic has to control the tempo the entire game. The moment he doesn't, he's going to lose control. And that's where the Celtics, I think, are really good at striking. They know how to strike. They're strikers, okay? So this is a game of tempo to me. And I think more than Jokic scoring, because I don't want him to do a whole lot of that. I actually want him to do a little bit of everything else and force others to score. I think Jokic's decision-making is the edge that Denver has, because he is the type of guy that can read a defense before it happens. And so to me, that's the edge that Denver has going into this one. I don't want Jokic to have a 50 piece because that means that others weren't contributing enough. I want others to do more so that Jokic can really focus on controlling the tempo and making those high IQ decisions that he does that make him one of one. So you need a Jamal Murray to get aggressive early. And I'm talking early. I'm talking out the gates, because if you have a Peyton Pritchard, well, he's coming off the bench. If you've got a JB and Derrick White that are lighting it up quickly, which I think is likely, you need Jamal to be responding aggressively early. And then, of course, protect the ball. The turnovers for the Denver Nuggets as of late have been a little, they've been a piss off to me, to be frank. That's the best way I can put it. So I need them to protect the ball immediately.
I'm glad you brought up the turnovers, because I was not at the game in Boston, but I was watching and was so frustrated. I thought Jamal Murray not only had 17 assists, but every time Jamal Murray scored in the fourth quarter, it was like these big, like, hold them off moments. We think about the NBA, the last 5 minutes. If you're within 10, 12 in the last 5 minutes, it's wide open.
Yeah.
And Jamal did an amazing job. and Peyton. I mean, Peyton hit a couple big threes in the last 5 minutes. They were just absolute daggers to keep that distance at that 10 to 12 mark where we just were running out of time. We couldn't get in. I'm like, how did we lose this game? And I was looking at all the numbers. Both teams shot relatively the same percentage from three, from the field in general. There was a discrepancy in the Celtics' favor from rebounding. We had, let me get this right. We beat you in the rebounding battle 53-39. We had 21 offensive rebounds. Nimish Queta had 10 offensive rebounds. And that's the hole when Jokic is not in the game. That's going to be much different this game when Jokic is going to play all 48, likely. Denver had 7 turnovers. 7. Boston had 14. That's the difference. It was a possession game.
Yeah.
So to your point, if they can emulate that, if they can turn us over and take care of the ball, that's how you won last time without him. But it's so fun. Like, I'm so excited that we've spent so much time diving into this because this is a different game.
It is.
With the personnel.
It is. It's a completely different matchup. I mean, we just saw the matchup not too long ago, but it's going to look completely different this time around.
I'm excited.
Which is good. I'm glad you're excited. I think I need one more day to pump up my excitement. For now, I'm a little nervous. It's always hard. It's hard to watch a good team like Denver, which is my team. I love them to death. But it's hard to watch a good team, especially your own team, lose a game they should have won. I always have a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. I get a little frustrated. I'm a little frustrated by what the Nuggets just did versus the Warriors because they were in that game. They came back in that game. They were behind, then they were back, and then they lost. It just was like, in true Denver fashion, one of those losses that should have been a win. And anybody with any type of basketball knowledge knows that watching that game. So I have some of my frustrations with Denver. And honestly, the hard reality of the NBA, and something that I talk about a lot, is so many things have to go right to be the team that wins a championship. You've got to have healthy bodies. I mean, there's so many things that are out of these guys' control. And I do feel like Denver has had the short end of the stick in terms of injuries this season. It's been rough. But it's also a next man up mentality type of game. These are all players that are playing at the professional level. So you have to be ready for your moment. And so I'm hard on Denver, but it's because I love Denver and I think they really are capable of being one of the best teams in the league this season, despite the injuries, because you do have to just be ready for your moment. But yeah, I am excited for this game. I think it's going to be great. And listen, Denver, one thing about Denver, they may frustrate me and drive me crazy just because I love them so. It's a very toxic relationship. It feels like one of those situationships where you're like, should I be doing this to myself? But you do anyway. That's my relationship with the Nuggets. But really, one thing I've got to give them credit for, they know how to surprise people.
Yeah.
I mean, you let your guard down with Denver, and that's never usually a good thing. Not that the Celtics are going to do that, but Denver knows how to shock people. So it wouldn't shock me if they tidied up everything I've seen over the last few games and just dominated. And it also wouldn't shock me if the Celtics did the exact same thing.
Well, I think you're also forgetting they're fired up. They just had that bad loss, and you said it's a silly loss, but like they're gonna sit on that loss for the next 2 days, and they're likely learning from it today. They're watching that film, and then tomorrow they'll watch the Celtics film and they'll prepare. But they're still sitting in that loss, and they're still pissed off. Yeah, they've got to be.
And that's the part of the game too that you forget about. I know I certainly do. Is like, these are humans, competitive humans that don't like to lose. So just as much as the fans don't like it when they lose, I guarantee you they don't like it more. So I have to remind myself of that. But either way, we're going to be at the game. We're going to be kind of sharing our POVs. Like, I'll be giving the POV from the Nuggets perspective. He's going to be giving the Celtics one. We're going to try to link up at the game and talk some trash, which I'm so good at. So I hope he's worried. He may not be worried about the matchup, but he better be worried about seeing me at halftime, regardless of if we win or lose. So we'll be at the game. Very excited. Any final thoughts from you before we wrap things up?
No, I'm excited to see this trash talking side of you. I've seen it, but it hasn't directly been at me.
That's true. It hasn't been at your expense.
I think I'm not nervous. I'm more excited for that.
Okay.
And we've got our hot takes.
Yep.
I think that mine is that triple threat in scoring. I'm predicting 20 points from all three of those guys. Your hot take, if we have to summarize it, is we need Jokic to not score 50.
Basically, I would rather him. I guess my hot take is that if Jokic goes under, let's just make it easy. If Jokic goes under on his point total, I will feel more confident that they will win.
Okay. So if he's guns a-blazing, I know
I'll be worried.
exactly what I'm going to say.
Perfect. Look at this, you guys. See, and this is the difference between Welsh and myself. He has to like type up a script to trash talk me. I will be on the fly so quick with it, he won't know what hit him. And that's, you know what? You could ask my fiance. That's probably his least favorite thing about me. He's like, you're so quick with like either being
You're witty.
insulting or like being argumentative or right or whatever it is. Like you don't even give me enough time to like process my thoughts. So yeah, just prepare to be, I don't know, prepare to be petrified even. I don't know.
Your wittiness is a threat.
It is.
I don't do well with witty and fast comebacks.
There you go.
I'm going to be plotting on you. Don't worry.
So I have the edge in the game, but the Celtics might have the edge in the game. We're just going to see. We're going to play it out. It's going to be amazing. Either way, Welsh, thank you for joining me. This was such a fun time. I'll have to bring you back, honestly, so we can just talk hoops and hang out. But thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I had a blast.
I'll
This
have
is great.
you back. This is like my favorite time of my week is just coming and talking hoops, and I know that you do the same. Okay, where can people find you at, and where can people tune into your podcast with Derrick White?
Yes. You can find me on Instagram. Welsh Noise is the handle. Our podcast is called White Noise with Derrick White. We're everywhere, all platforms, including Instagram, Spotify, Apple, YouTube. So check us out. We do a lot with a bunch of different guests across the NBA, the Celtics. We just had Pat Surtain with the Denver Broncos on.
Amazing.
So yeah, check us out. There'll be a lot more exciting stuff coming.
Yay! Well, thank you for being here. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Mood Swings with Liv Moods, presented as always by Landmark Lincoln. Go Nuggets. Go Celtics, I guess.
Okay,
and go Derrick for sure.
Yes.
Like if it's not going to be the Celtics as a whole, I can at least root for Derrick White to have a fantastic game in his home state. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Mood Swings with Liv Moods. I'm Liv Moods signing off for now, and we will see you back here on Friday. Bye.